What's up, all you collectors? Happy Friday. This is Johnny from Dying Breed Collectors. So I'm here today to do the first of a regular news segment. It's something that I've always wanted to do whenever I thought of doing a YouTube channel with any consistency. It's a segment I'm calling Featured Item Friday. So this will obviously come out every Friday. And what I'll be doing is just taking an item out of my personal collection and showing it off and talking about it and telling the story. Obviously, I'll try to make them interesting and not just be like, oh, this is a thing I have. But, you know, things that have stories behind them. It's a way to talk about my personal stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, because I think that a lot of us collectors have a story behind certain items in our collection, and we tend to like to share those with people. So I figured other people will have interest. Maybe you know, a thumbnail picture will catch your eye and you'll be like, whoa, what's the story behind that? Or like, why is he talking about that? So that's the idea behind this. And you know, eventually I'll do like a room tour when I have my whole collection set up the way I want. And if anybody wants to, you know, give suggestions. Oh, hey, I saw that in your room tour. It looked interesting. Talk about it on a Featured Item Friday. Happy to do it. And one more reminder, you can check out the website if you're interested in purchasing any omnibus, trade paperbacks, collected editions, dyingbreedcollectors.com. But today's more about the featured items than selling books. So, what do we got here? Well, this is... I'm starting off with this one for the reason that it's one of the most important items in my collection. It's one of the most important things that I own. I want to be buried with this, and I'm dead serious. So, this is a Morph action figure from the X-Men animated series line. Probably sometime around 94, 95, something like that. So, why this is so special to me is it was a birthday gift I received from my dad when I was, I want to say, like my 5th birthday, something like that, like 1995. And it was maybe like the first collectible that I ever got. So, the story behind it was, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, there was a storefront that on the side of the building, painted in big letters, it said Titan Comics. So I always, as a little kid, thought it was a comic book store, and I'd never been into one in my life. So I finally was able to convince my dad to take me in there a few weeks before this, you know, birthday. I think my 5th birthday, like I said. That seems to make the most sense. And it ended up being a collectible toy shop, actually, called Big John and Little Debbie's. So I still never figured out why Titan Comics was written on the side. And it's gone now, unfortunately. But, yeah, Big John and Little Debbie's here in Chicago, Illinois. And so we go in there, and, you know, at this point, I had, you know, been to a lot of, like, Toys R Us and KB Toys, which actually it looks like this was originally from, if you remember KB Toys. And, you know, I got a bunch of X-Men toys. X-Men figures, you know, I was a kid. It was 90s, X-Men, very popular. But, you know, seeing on the back of the card, you know, you'd always see Morph. I don't even know if... Yeah, there he is. So you always see Morph, but you would never see him at the store, man. You would never see him in a Toys R Us. He was rare. It was like my first white whale. And so we go into this store, this collectible toy shop, and they had this, man. And it was behind the counter. And I wanted my dad to get it for me so freaking badly. But it was 15 bucks. He suggested retail 20. I have a feeling that there was a lower number there from KB Toys. They bought it. Oh, suggested retail 20. Well, we'll give it to you for 15. Well, good deal. Come on. So, you know, my dad was like, no, that's too much for a toy. Like, well, I'm not doing that. And, like, you know, I was pretty bummed, of course. But, you know, good dad. You know, lo and behold, a few weeks later on my birthday, opened up a box. Like, I remember this, man. This is pretty vivid in my mind. And I opened up this, you know, little square box and frickin' Morph action figure inside. And look at this, man. 5-year-old kid. Look how I remember we used to Swiss Army knife to open the sucker up. So it's still attached at the top. So I would just, you know, slide them out, change the heads. You know what I always thought was so interesting? I don't know if he's on the back here. Let's see. Okay, well, they have the different editions of Wolverine. Like, this is Wolverine. Oh, that one's just called Wolverine. But frickin'... there, like Wolverine 6, Albert. So, like, all the different Wolverine variants had, like, a number associated. And Wolverine 3 was him in this suit, and I always thought, like, oh, it's kind of like you got, I mean, I know you get, like, 4 toys, kind of, if you change the heads, but I was like, man, if you swap the Wolverine head on, it looks just like the Wolverine 3 toy. So, I thought that was really interesting. But, yeah, so we, you know, it was important to me, even as, like, a 5-year-old kid, and I thought it was so special and such a collectible, like, I didn't want to completely open it, but I was a kid, so we did it that way, and it's just always been, like, important to me for that reason. I mean, it's a memory, it's, yeah, it's like the start of my weird obsession with collecting things, with keeping them nice. I mean, I know this is open, and probably if I got something like this now, I wouldn't even open it, but, you know, pretty good for a kid to keep it that attached instead of breaking it apart. So, yeah, I don't know, I just thought that that was a really good way to start off this segment, to share it. It's not much more story behind that, aside from I've kept it all these years. You know, I'm 31 years old now, so I've had this for over 25 years, for sure. And, yeah, it's just a story I like telling, I like sharing. So, you know, the other thing I guess I could say off that is, you know, because it ended up, the place wasn't a comic book store like I thought, I don't think I ever ended up going into an actual comic book store until I was like 11 years old, which is kind of crazy considering the obsession I have with it now. But that could be a different story for another time. I guess that's just going to wrap it up. Like I said, really short little story. We'll do another item next week, but for today, my Morph action figure, got it for my birthday from my dad, real important to me. Keep in good condition for my whole life. Maybe get buried with it one day. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to peace out. Thank you, everybody, for checking this out. Remember, Dying Breed Collectors. You can check out the website if you're looking to purchase some books. If you want to follow on Instagram, at Dying Breed Collectors, with the underscores. You know, follow the YouTube channel, subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Hit the like button. And we'll keep this rolling, man. So, we'll see you around. Have a great weekend. Adios.